Hello, friends. Brian Gailey, publisher of Klamath Falls News. Welcome to Ask Klamath. Our guest today is Todd Andrus over here. Todd is the Regional Business Manager for Pacific Power. He's also a candidate for Klamath Falls City Council Ward number 5. We're going to actually catch in with him in just a moment, but I got some housekeeping stuff we want to do first. For those of you who are new, Ask Klamath is a talk show that we do every other week here on Wednesday at 4 o'clock. Allows you guys the opportunity to ask your questions to our guest. Unfortunately, we ran into a little snafu with Facebook this week, and they wouldn't let us get that post out there for you because it was political, and they did all their monkeying around and kind of goobered that one up a little bit. But we're here. We're going to ask your questions anyway with Todd. Thank you for being here, Todd.
Thank you for inviting me.
With that said, I've spoken with several people, including you, ahead of time, and we have formulated some questions that a lot of you are already asking, and we're going to address those here. But we will also be taking your questions live in the comments and asking those at the end of the show. So if you've got a question for Todd and you don't hear us ask it, or you got something that you need to get off your chest, put it in the comments. We're watching those, we're monitoring that, and we'll be addressing those at the end. And to go along with that, if we ask your question live on the air, our friends over at the Klamath County Fairgrounds have created a package that you can be entered in to win. So just out of the people who get asked their questions live, will be entered in to win a passes all weekend long at the fair, tickets to see Cody Johnson, tickets to the rodeo, carnival tickets, a whole bunch. Special thanks to those guys over there. So, checking my notes.
Well, can I say, Mindy, ask a question? I'd like to have a chance to win some of that.
Perfect. So, with all that out of the way, Todd, many of you know our guest. He has lived in Klamath Falls. I'm going to reference this so I don't forget. There's a lot going on here. He's lived in Klamath Falls for the past 22 years, involved with a multitude of organizations, and I don't even think I have them all down here. But Casita, United Way, Citizens for Safe Schools, the Klamath County Chamber of Commerce, Junior Achievement, and others. Todd was the Director of Operations for the Running Y for over 15 years, later became the developer and the General Manager for the property. Today, Todd is the Regional Business Manager for Pacific Power, and like I said earlier, is running for Klamath Falls City Council Ward number 5. At Ward 5 is Pelican City. It wraps around out to the Stuart Lennox area, parts of Ridgewater, Linwood, around the lake. Yeah. Right?
Basically, above Harbor Isles. Right. Yeah.
Very good. So, Todd, that's a lot, but I know there's more. What did I miss? Tell us everybody about you.
Well, I'm married. I've been married for about 25 years. Moved here in 1996 to start up a resort called Running Y with a great little team there. Eventually I became the operating manager and general manager and developer of the project. I had approximately 250 to 300 employees underneath me at one time, a multi-million-dollar budget that I was responsible for, and have 2 kids. One, Seth, and he is a sophomore in college. He will be going to Washington State University after this year. And I have a great little guy named Parker, and he's 6th grade going into 7th grade at Ponderosa. And some of the other things, I am currently the campaign chair for the United Way. So give generously if you have an opportunity to do that for us. And in my off time, I collect blankets to help some of the needy in our community. I typically do that in November, December at the end of the year. And I referee a little bit of high school basketball.
Yeah, so if Todd looks a little familiar to you, but you can't place him, it could be off that basketball court. What you do with the blankets and stuff is really good. We actually reported that not too long ago with the Klamath Lake Community Action Services.
Thank you, yeah.
And you partnered with the church over by Ponderosa.
Yes.
Blanking on the name all of a sudden.
Yeah, Hope.
And so they did a whole, thing a while back. Check our live videos for that. You'll see that back in there. So with that, we're actually going to take a quick commercial break where we can pay some bills. We're going to be right back with Todd Andrus. We'll see you guys shortly.
Hi, I'm Dr. Parker Ma, and this is Klamath Spine Rehab and Sports Center. We offer various types of treatments to get you moving and feeling better. Services include chiropractic, physical therapy, massage, and other different therapeutic techniques. At Klamath Spine, we typically don't need a referral, and we're an in-network provider for many insurances. You have a choice where to be seen. Make it at Klamath Spine Rehab and Sports Center.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
And move over. When you see lights,
vests,
Or reflectors.
please give us some room. Slow down and move over.
when you need us.
We've got your back.
Do you have ours?
You got our back?
You got ours?
You got our back? Please, slow down.
And move over.
You can have your car taken to the shop of your choice. So my friend had her car taken to Excel Auto Body because she heard about their reputation for excellent work. They even gave her a written warranty that's good for as long as she owns that car. So Excel Auto Body is a very smart choice.
Hi, I'm Rourke, owner of Excel Auto Body. No matter if the damage is minor or major, you'll want to choose us now. So if you are ever in an accident, you'll be ready. And remember, it's your choice what body shop you go to. Choose Excel Auto Body. It's your car, our reputation.
Welcome back, guys. Brian Geely here. We're live with Todd Andrus, who's running for Klamath Falls City Council Ward number 5. This segment is brought to you by our presenting sponsor, Excel Auto Body. If you get in an accident, remember that it's your choice where you can take your vehicle. Choose Excel Auto Body because when you need someone to fight for you and your car, you could not have a better advocate in your corner than Excel. Learn more about what they can do for you at excellautobody.com. Your vehicle, our reputation. And I want to thank Excel for being our presenting sponsor for Ask Klamath. We couldn't do the show without them. Now, we got some questions. You ready?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, we're going to dive right into this. Todd, the very first question I've got for you is, why are you running for City Council?
Well, my wife and I did get asked by a couple of community members to consider running. I did some soul searching, worked with my wife and talked to her about what the commitment was going to be. And ultimately, with my past leadership experience at the Running Y and some other organizations such as the Chamber of Commerce and Casita and the such, I just felt it was, with her blessing, an opportunity to show off my leadership skills and help the community I love.
Awesome. Sorry for that. We're trying to watch the feed
Yeah.
here, and it just offset kicked on with audio. So
Yeah.
that's live for you. You never know what's going to happen. So, that's really cool that you're bringing that all together, right? So, what are you going to do different on the council if you were elected?
Well, I think I'm going to bring a very positive voice and a proactive look into City Council. I just love this community that I am part of, and I think what I'll bring is using a lot more of these ears than this voice, listening to our citizens and the concerns and understanding, bringing diverse groups together, finding commonality with those diverse groups, and then coming up with solutions. And that's really the basis of why I'm running, is I think that we can do a better job in that area and bring people together, working together, and then our community will thrive. Economic development and a whole bunch of different things, such as policy issues that we'll get in later. But I think we can do better and bring our community together, and that's why I want to be a part of.
Okay, very good. So, now, I know there's a question that's on a lot of people's mind, Todd, and that's going to be the role you have at Pacific Power, right? You're not one of the little guys. You are a regional business manager.
Yeah.
That's your title.
Yep.
If you were elected, does this give Pacific Power a voice in the city?
Well, thank you for giving me an opportunity to address this question. A lot of other people kind of say, is there a conflict of interest between Pacific Power and the city? I don't think there's a conflict of interest. Quite honestly, it would be no different than any other public servant. If there is an issue that is brought in front of City Council and there is a conflict, you recuse yourself. The city right now currently has a franchise agreement that is probably within its ninth first year of a 10-year agreement, so I don't foresee myself having that issue for some period of time. And if other issues come in front of council again, I have no problem recusing myself. You have a strong city attorney that will help us determine those type of things, like they should determine that for all city council members, and I'll act appropriately at that time.
Very good. So you said you talked to some people and whatnot before you ran.
Mm-hmm.
Did Pacific Power ask you to run?
No.
Who did?
Well, a couple community members asked me to run, and I'll let them stay private on that. But yeah, they took me out we went to dinner. It was the last third Thursday of last year, and during that they asked me if I would consider. I gave it some soul searching, like I said, and I talked to my wife. About 2 months into that, I decided that I would do it if I could, do it the right way. And that's what I'm planning to do. Do it the right way and communicate strong with the people and listen to people and make sure I have time to do these things. And again, my wife and I talked about all those things, and I'm going to do it the right way.
Good. So continuing on some of the tough questions, this may be one of the harder ones of it. We're actually going to address marijuana. Okay. Where do you stand on the issue of both medical and personal use marijuana?
Yeah, and thank you for separating them, because I think they're two separate issues. Medical, I don't believe the government should get in front of between an individual and their doctor. So their doctor comes up with a good medical plan. I'm not sure if I'm the right one to get in the way of that. So I don't have any issues with medical marijuana. In fact, I've read somewhere that people are using medical marijuana instead of opioids, and the states that are choosing to do that, there's a 25% reduction in opioid abuse. So medical, I don't have an issue. On the recreational, I believe there's a group going out there and collecting signatures. My gut feeling is that those signatures, they'll collect enough and they'll go in front of the voters, and I will look at Ward 5 and represent them well, and I will tend to the voice of the voters. So which way they go, I will happily promote. Very
good. So just to reiterate, your stance on the whole marijuana deal on the recreational side is, as an elected official, if you were elected, would be to represent what the people want, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's pros and cons to the issue, and what I would recommend to all the people watching is get educated on the issue. And do your own research, read. There's a lot of stuff online that you can read, both pro and con, and come up with a sound decision, and then make your voice heard by voting. And I will, if elected, will listen to those voices and make sure that that's well represented on council.
Very well. Thank you for answering that.
Yeah, thanks.
Again, guys, we're taking your questions live in the comments of the show here, so we're going to be asking those questions at the end. If you've got any questions for Todd, be sure to get those in right now. We're actually going to move on to another question. I do know you're very active. You're very health conscious. You're a referee, basketball referee, running up and down the court all winter long. What are your thoughts on the blue zones in our community here?
Well, I'm not a good poster child right now for the blue zones.
I don't think either one of us are.
So, but I think what they are doing is making the healthy choice, the easy choice is excellent, and it goes deeper to just getting healthy, but what we're doing is we're creating a healthier community and a healthier workforce. And when we start developing a healthier workforce, that makes our community that much more attractive for economic development and businesses looking into. Healthcare expenses are extremely high cost for any type of business. And so if we become a healthier community and they're looking at us versus another community X, and we can show with the blue zones and helping show that we are healthier and a healthier workforce, reduced healthcare cost to your business. That just gives us a leg up on when we're trying to recruit someone. So it goes much deeper than just blue zones and bike lanes, which I think are great, but the key is creating that healthy workforce and creating and making us more attractive for economic development and bringing people in.
All right. Well, with that, guys, we're going to take another commercial break. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Dr. Parker Ma, and this is Klamath Spine Rehab and Sports Center. We offer various types of treatments to get you moving and feeling better. Services include chiropractic, physical therapy, massage, and other different therapeutic techniques. At Klamath Spine, we typically don't need a referral, and we're an in-network provider for many insurances. You have a choice where to be seen. Make it at Klamath Spine Rehab and Sports Center.
Slow down
Slow down and move over.
And move over.
when you see lights.
Vests.
Or reflectors.
Please, give us some room. Slow down and move over.
When you need us.
We've got your back.
Do you have ours?
You got our back?
You got ours?
You got our back? Please, slow down.
And move over.
You can have your car taken to the shop of your choice. So my friend had her car taken to Excel Auto Body because she heard about their reputation for excellent work. They even gave her a written warranty that's good for as long as she owns that car. So Excel Auto Body is a very smart choice.
Hi, I'm Rorik, owner of Excel Auto Body. No matter if the damage is minor or major, you'll want to choose us now. So if you are ever in an accident, you'll be ready. And remember, it's your choice what body shop you go to. Choose Excel Auto Body. It's your car, our reputation.
Welcome back, friends. Brian Gailey, Klamath Falls News. We're live with Ask Klamath. Our guest today is Todd Andrus. Todd is running for Klamath Falls City Council Ward number 5. And this segment is actually brought to you by the Klamath County Fairgrounds. The Klamath County Fair is actually coming up August 2nd through 5th. Country superstar Cody Johnson will be taking the stage Thursday night. And it wouldn't be a fair, obviously, without the rides and the food and the animals and the 4-H'ers and the FFA'ers and all that. The premium guide, if you guys hadn't seen this yet, I'm going to try to show that without a giant glare. These are available right now over at the fair. If you're going to be entering into the fair itself, you're going to want to get one of those, get it picked up. So great thanks to the Klamath County Fairgrounds for being a sponsor. If you want to know more about this year's fair, head over to kcfairgrounds.org. All right, Todd, so we're going to jump right back into more questions. You
Perfect.
ready?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. So leadership is kind of the theme here that this next question is, what do you think makes a great leader? And are you the leader Klamath Falls needs?
Well, let me answer the second part first, if
Okay.
you don't mind. Yes, I am the leader that Klamath Falls needs. I think we need a proactive voice on council. And I think being on council is just not enough. I think it's being on council and being a leader in our community. I think what a leader entails 3 parts, quite honestly. At times, you take the rock and put it in your pocket, and you're the champion of an issue. At times, it's you're seeing a good, strong group doing good things, and you're there to support them. And sometimes the best leaders are the ones that just get out of the way of things. I can do all 3, and I have done all 3. You talked earlier about the blue zones. Early on there was 2 young ladies who came up with this concept of going up to the Oregon Governor's Conference on health to promote Klamath Falls of being a healthier community and wanting to be the first blue zone community in the state of Oregon. I was one of the 29 that went up there and followed them and was there to be a champion, help them achieve that. And so sometimes you don't have to lead by being the one talking and doing all that. Sometimes you just have to be there and be supportive of good groups. Klamath Trail Alliance is another great example. They go out there and do an excellent job with the trails and the stuff like that. We can just be supportive of them and make sure that the community knows what they're doing and how important it is to our community and the recreational aspects of our community.
And you bring up a great point. Klamath Trail Alliance is, we hope to have them on here as the show as a guest at some point, but they're doing some wonderful things up in Spence Mountain, Doak Mountain area when you're heading to Medford off the lake. There's world-class trails out there that people travel from all over the West to come ride. So that is a great opportunity to help rather than try to hinder.
Right.
So thank you, Todd, for answering that.
Yeah.
The next question I want to ask you is regarding the airport.
Yeah.
The issue of commercial passenger air travel in and out of Klamath has been difficult for years now.
Yeah.
Should we continue to pursue an airline in Klamath Falls? Why? Why not?
Yeah, well, let me go by the foundation of why this is important, or at least my belief of why it's important. So, with commercial air service and a number of embarkments that come, if you get 10,000 embarkments, the FCC or FAA, excuse me.
It's easy to get those acronyms mixed up.
Exactly. The FAA grants the city $1 million if you go over that threshold. If you're under that threshold, it's $250,000 to help repair and maintenance of the facility. We have a huge economic engine there. It's called the base. Kingsley Field, and we need to do everything possible to make sure that their stay here. Although they signed a long-term contract, we need to do things to make sure that their stay on that airfield is the most productive that it can be. And so I think not only air service in our community is important for people who want to get on a plane and go up to Seattle or such, but I think it's really important for the financial stability of the airport and to make sure that we can maintain that airport. If we can't do that, then we go to the taxpayers. And I'd rather have this grant opportunity to help keep that airport running. So I think it's important for us to work on that.
Okay. And you talk about, going to the taxpayers for that. And the next question actually involves a conversation we had a couple days ago. Mm-hmm. And you mentioned the phrase "invest in the community."
Yeah.
Off camera, as I say here, I'm going to read this because I don't want to screw it up. Off camera, we talked about the community needs to invest in itself.
Right.
Can you explain what that is and maybe enlighten some of these people that are watching?
Yeah. So, so when I was out at the Running Y, before we sold any home sites, before we got into that, we were able to invest. JELD1 was able to invest in a golf course, walking trails, a nice entry to the area, horseback riding trails, a whole wide range of amenities. Okay, and that was upfront investment that paid off because many people from outside the area came and purchased home sites here. I was also involved with Ridgewater. And Ridgewater is the third project that I was managing, and unfortunately, because of the recession, because of some challenges, we weren't able to do all the things that we wanted to do out of the gate there. And you can see the impact that it had out in that development is that not as many people came out and bought, and it's slowly going, but it takes them. So I think us as a community, we have to show investment into our community before people outside our community come in and invest. And that's kind of a show of faith in your community. That doesn't mean you have to increase taxes. That doesn't mean, we just mentioned Klamath Trail Alliance. That's an investment in our community. There's a park across the street from where we're sitting right now. Sky Lakes Medical Center is putting a lot of money into that. That's an investment into our community. So sometimes when we talk about leadership, getting out of the way, sometimes those are the things we have to get out of the way, or we have to be supportive of those sorts of things. I'm a fiscal conservative, so I want to do everything possible before we ever consider any type of increase in taxes or anything like that. But I think smart investment is important also in our community, and that's what I'm talking about when I talk about investing in quality of life investments.
Very well. You mentioned the park across the street. We're broadcasting live from our Gathering Grounds Roastery, and our friends here at Gathering Grounds are well letting us do this, and I appreciate that very much. And the park is the one adjacent to across the street here, around 11th Street, Klamath, and Main. So you mentioned a little bit ago, champion. You had that word just kind of hit me. If you were elected, is there any personal projects you would like to champion and see happen?
Well, there's a number of different things that we've talked about. Health into our community. So I'd like to be supportive of those sorts of efforts. I'd like to be also supportive of security in our police force, and I think they're doing a great job right now. But continue to help those sorts of things. If I could put it in a nutshell, I want to be one that goes outside the community at times and make sure that everyone understands how much we love this community and how great it is. And so sometimes that's getting in your car and going up to Salem. Sometimes that's getting, when we're talking about the airport, by the way, I forgot to say that, right now our 2 senators and our U.S. congressman have a bill to help Kingsley Field to get essential air service in there to help bring in commercial air service. Sometimes that's getting in a plane and going out to Washington, D.C. to make sure that we carry the message that Klamath Falls is important and that service is important to us. And sometimes getting in your car or getting on a plane and being a champion out there is critical. And that's what I intend to do when appropriate.
So a little bit of advocacy for Klamath Falls.
Yeah, I think advocacy and then again, economic growth is another important thing. And when we talk about economic growth, you always hear about people bringing big businesses in, and we need to do that, no doubt. But I also think we need to be working on the current businesses that we have and how do we make them stronger. And I've been working with the Chamber of Commerce. They're going to put out a questionnaire right here in the next few weeks, and I hope you answer those questions because what we need to do is find synergies within our community. And if you're offsetting a product or shipping out a product or stepping your product chain out somewhere else, and someone else is doing the same, and someone else is doing the same, and there's commonality there. Gosh, wouldn't it be neat if we could just bring that business here? So those are a lot of the things that I want to champion.
Very well. Perfect. That's really good. There's a lot of people doing that now. I know you've been doing it with the chamber.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, and Heather, you can correct me. I know you're watching. I believe it's every February. We go up to Salem. Then there's a Klamath Day at the chamber, and there's a whole lot of advocates. And Todd's been involved with that for a very long time. I've been involved with that as well as a board member on the Chamber of Commerce. Joe Spinellini is off camera over there, and I know he's been involved as well. So. With that, I actually want to lead into another thing, and it could follow in with the advocacy and whatnot, and that's challenges.
Yeah.
What do you believe is the current challenges facing Klamath Falls?
Well, I think housing is one. I think housing is something that I think it's an issue throughout the state, so it's not just unique to Klamath Falls. What else is another challenge that I just had one that's kind of slipped off my head right now, but housing would definitely. I think homeless. Homeless in our community is a big challenge, and I think the work that Klamath Works is doing is excellent, and in support of the mission and a new mission and the such, and hopefully that helps in those areas. But I think addressing those type of issues and creating a really strong downtown district, I think that's really critical to any community. So the Downtown Association is doing a great job. The Chamber of Commerce is doing a great job. But we just need to continue to elevate that and continue to support those organizations because the downtown district is that's our heart of our community. And not just the city of Klamath Falls, but I'm talking about the region of Klamath Falls. Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, we got a couple more questions to go. We're going to take one more commercial break. When we come back, we're going to ask your questions. So get those in the comments right now. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Dr. Parker Ma, and this is Klamath Spine Rehab and Sports Center. We offer various types of treatments to get you moving and feeling better. Services include chiropractic, physical therapy, massage, and other different therapeutic techniques. At Klamath Spine, we typically don't need a referral, and we're an in-network provider for many insurances. You have a choice where to be seen. Make it at Klamath Spine Rehab and Sports Center.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
And move over.
When you see lights,
Vests.
Or reflectors.
Please, give us some room. Slow down and move over.
when you need us.
We've got your back.
You have ours.
You got our back?
You got ours?
You got our back? Please, slow down.
And move over.
You can have your car taken to the shop of your choice. So my friend had her car taken to Excel Auto Body because she heard about their reputation for excellent work. They even gave her a written warranty that's good for as long as she owns that car. So Excel Auto Body is a very smart choice.
Hi, I'm Rorik, owner of Excel Auto Body. No matter if the damage is minor or major, you'll want to choose us now. So if you are ever in an accident, you'll be ready. And remember, it's your choice what body shop you go to. Choose Excel Auto Body. It's your car, our reputation.
Welcome back, friends. Brian Gailey, Klamath Falls News. We're live with Ask Klamath and our guest Todd Andrus, who is running for Klamath Falls City Council, Ward number 5, which is the area around the lake. Do want to let you know that this segment is brought to you by Ace Towing. They want you to remember, when you see lights, you just saw the commercial. When you see lights, slow down, move over. Give emergency vehicles, all emergency vehicles, a little extra room. And if you're in the need of assistance, put this number into your phone. You're going to want it because when you need it, you don't want to be looking for it. 541-884-9388. That's the number for Ace Towing, 541-884-9388. They'll help you with jump starts, lockouts if you run out of fuel, tire changes, collision towing, and more. Special thanks to them for helping us out. Todd, I have one more question for you before we go into the questions that we got being asked here.
Yeah.
Todd, it kind of sums everything up in what you had mentioned earlier, but challenges and the leadership and the airport and things like that. But the image of Klamath Falls, do you think we have an image problem?
Well, I think that's an interesting question, because I think sometimes our own self-talk, within your family, you know the pros and cons of within your family. You know where the if you want to say, where the warts are and where the, on your body and the such. And I think sometimes us as Klamath Falls tends to be a little bit harder on ourselves, because when we bring people from outside the area and they see everything that's going on here, there's a great perspective of what's going on in Klamath Falls. We have a beautiful community. And we will control the future of that community, and we will. We have bright days in front of us, but we got to get that image or get that mentality that we can make it happen. We can do what we want to do, and we can make that happen. Sometimes outside the area, you hear the negative talk of fighting within water wars and other issues such as that. And that's part of our community, that's part of our culture, and we need to address them. We can't ignore them. We need to address those. But we need to understand that we really have something special here. We have the opportunity to do some really good things, and if we work together, find commonality, by the way, commonality doesn't mean you get your way 100% of the time, or I get my way 100% of the time, but we do the best for the entire community. We're going to have a great place to live for years to come, and I'm looking forward to being part of that. I'm looking forward to being a champion of that.
Very good. Looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, guys, so let's go into your live questions and see what we have here. I'm actually going to scroll through here. It looks like we have a few. Heather Tramp, you got onto a question kick. Thank you. She asked, the first one she asked is, did you work for Disney? Was that the running wide then, or?
No, I have not worked for Disney. The Running Y at one time was owned by Roy Disney. And there were plans to do something like the Running Y at that with the property, but no, I have never worked for Disney.
Okay, so it was after.
I've gotten some Disney training, so I do have some of that. Okay,
so correct me if I'm wrong. The Running Y land was once Disney. The resort itself was after that, right?
Yeah, Roy Disney owned it, and
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Heather also asks, if elected, how will you involve residents in the decision-making process?
Well, I think, again, that's being open and accessible to listen to the residents. When I was the president of Casita, one of the things I did was I sat down at the Daily Bagel, and quite honestly, every Wednesday, if I was in town, which was most of the time, I sat there between 7 a.m. and about 8:30 every Wednesday morning for approximately 9 to 10 years. And the reason why I did that was to be open and accessed and make sure people had the opportunity to come see me and talk to me. It started with Casita and having the executive director be able to sign checks. But we created a small little table and we got into really good discussions. If elected, I plan to do the same thing. I plan to be probably at the Daily Bagel, and what I ask you is
or gathering grounds,
you're right. Maybe I can mix it up a little bit too. Thank you. Both great businesses, But the key is being visible and being accessible. When you go to a event, a chamber event or a greeters event or speakeasy or those sorts of things, make sure you spend a little extra time to make sure that people have an opportunity to talk to you. And again, that's part of using these, not this so much. And we need to make sure that we listen, fully understand the issues, and that's how you find commonality, and that's how we can build together.
Very good. All right, let's see what other ones we have in here. Heather Tramp has also asked, how can the city best support business development?
Well, I think some of the things that we need to be doing is looking at our planning codes, and I think to make sure that those are solid to help businesses. One of the things I plan to do during this process is get together with the Real Estate Association to learn what their challenges are, because they represent a lot of businesses or new businesses coming in. So to really learn those issues, work with Heather in the chamber to find out those sorts of things, and find out where we can get better. Planning codes are really important to do, and I also want to say sometimes we got to take some risks. And I think a great example recently was the Klamath County commissioners. They went out there, bought a building, a former grocery store. Now they had some ideas of some clients that might go in there, and they worked with the Economic Development Association to fill that. But that was a risk. There was no guarantee when they bought that property that people were going to come in and fill it. So that was a risk that they took, and they were able to get a return on investment on that risk. I don't think the county made money. The return on investment is better for our downtown district. And so sometimes I think we need to do that with our businesses. Look at ways that we can help them in point of entry into our community without giving the bank away, but how do we help them get in and come up with creative ways to help them. You got to take each case by case on its own merit. So you can't do everything for everyone, but you got to take each case on its own merit.
Very good.
So.
Taking a look here to see if we have any more. Heather Tramp has another one. What positive things do you think have happened in Klamath in the past year to 2 years?
Well, I would say Heather Tramp being named the executive director is right there.
I agree with that one.
So I think Heather has done an excellent job with the chamber. I think Blue Zones was a great. We kind of continue to talk about Blue Zones, but I think that was a very uplifting event for our community, quite honestly. So I think that is one. I think what people are doing in Klamath Works is one. I think when we have the first individual, Paul Stewart, to be named the Oregon Businessman and Industry Man of the Year or Person of the Year, first one outside of Salem or Portland, I think that's huge. I think their investment, their $40 million investment into the hospital that's going on right now, I think that's really big. But I mean, there's small things like the gathering grounds. I mean, small businesses opening up. There's also another little place up on campus. 3 college students getting together and starting a business. That's awesome.
Bulletproof Brew House. They're great over there. As a matter of fact, they serve what's roasted here at Gathering Grounds. So little cheap plug.
Yeah. So I think all of those things. Those are just a few, and we could go on and on and on. The key is let's, as a community, look for the positive things that we're doing in this community. So many times we look for what's going wrong. Let's look for what's going on right, and that's part of what I'm going to do, and then build off of that. That's what I want to do.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to take one more look here and see if we have anything on that I missed. Heather has responded to your question. Says best answer yet, Todd.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I'm not seeing any new questions. We're going to get ready to wrap this up. I appreciate you guys watching and following along with us. And Todd, I thank you for being here as part of Ask Klamath.
Yeah.
Hopefully it went well for you.
Yeah, it was an honor to come and speak to everyone, and you're doing a great job. This is another great thing that's going on right now. Honestly, I think giving the community an opportunity to speak and getting the word out, I think that's great. And you've done a great job at that. So
well,
congratulations.
Thank you. We're trying really hard doing what we're doing. Damon's over there doing some switching, so I couldn't do it without him. So, yeah. But before we wrap, I do want to give another real props shout out. Cheap plugs all night long for Gathering Grounds, but seriously, they are great for what they do for us here, allowing us to be at this facility and use this every other Wednesday when we go live. vibe. I appreciate that very much. Jason and his crew are top notch. They roast locally, and then they sell it here in their cafe, as well as to other places like Bulletproof, which you mentioned, the 3 college students up by OIT. I also want to thank Excel Auto Body, the Klamath County Fairgrounds, Klamath Spine and Rehab, Ace Towing. I couldn't do it without you guys. You guys are great and helped us out with your generous sponsorships. Thank you. As Klamath is a production of Klamath Falls News. It's hosted by myself, Brian Gailey. Our off-camera show producer, monitoring audio and switching, is Damian Johnson. He flashed the screen. There he is. He brought that back up again. If you were not able to catch the entire live broadcast, this will be available for replay through Facebook after they do their magic and all that in the back end. It'll also be available through our social media channels, AskKlamath.com, and on our YouTube channel as well. If your business would like to sponsor Ask Klamath, just visit AskKlamath.com for more information. I hope you were entertained. If you were, give it a like, share it, tell everybody, your friends, family, your dog, tell everybody about it, and we want this to go viral. So, yeah. Todd, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you. I appreciate
it. Guys, this is Brian Gailey. We'll see you around the basin. See ya.